What's up, people? It's Chris. Back as promised, like it or not, to give my Strikeforce Fedor versus Werdum predictions. Now, I'll tell you one thing. I'm glad that they threw Scott Smith versus Kung Lee on here. Otherwise, this is a pretty one-sided night of fights. I don't really see anything aside from that fight that's going to be too competitive. First fight, Josh Thompson versus Pat Healy. Thompson coming off the decision loss. Probably one of the best 3 fights of last year in MMA to Gilbert Melendez, where he lost his Strikeforce lightweight title. He should win this fight. Pat Healy's not really in his league. Thompson's had plenty of time to rest up after that war against Gilbert. A fight that was good. Pretty competitive, but Gilbert clearly won. Josh Thompson's going to win this fight, probably by decision, but he's going to win. Not a whole lot to say about, in all honesty. Scott Smith, Kung Lee. Rematch. One of the more exciting fights of last year. Kung Lee was beating the living hell out of Scott Smith for 2.5 rounds. I mean, he was kicking him all over the place, knocking him down. Hit him with everything but the kitchen sink, as I like to say. But he couldn't stop Scott Smith. And Scott Smith, true to form, rallied late, hurt Kung Lee, and finished him off for probably the best comeback win of last year in mixed martial arts. Just a really exciting win for Scott Smith, and I believe that was Kung Lee's first loss in MMA. Not a good way to lose your first fight either, to be winning an entire fight and then lose at the end by knockout. Not a good way to win. Now, a lot of people are saying Kung Lee is the favorite to win this fight because he was dominating the first fight till he gassed. I could see that theory. However, he has to deal with the psychological aspect of not only having lost his first fight, but the way he lost it. He knows, he's going to have doubts about not only his cardio if he can't finish Smith, but about getting hit by Smith, who knocked him out, who hurt him. Kung Lee at times has been even though he's a very exciting fighter and a very offensively dynamic fighter, he's been a bit cautious in getting hit. Not that any fighter necessarily wants to get hit, except for maybe like Nick Diaz and Scott Smith. But Kung Lee's been very wary, if you notice, of getting hit. And he got hit. We saw what happened. So, I don't know how those doubts may linger for this fight. Kung Lee should have a stylistic advantage as we saw in the first fight, but I don't know. Just based on the way the first fight ended, and the fact that Smith has that psychological edge on him at this point, and he knows, he gained the confidence of knowing that he could stand in there and take everything that Kung Lee threw at him, and could stand in there with them and take it and still get the win. And he has the power to put Lee down. I think that confidence is going to give him the advantage. And I think he's going to get the win here again. I will not be surprised if Kung Lee wins this fight by decision or by stoppage. But I'm going to go with Scott, Hands of Steel Smith, to repeat his first performance. Not the same manner, but Scott Smith by TKO. Next up, we got Christiane Cyborg Santos defending her women's lightweight title against Jan Finney. Santos coming off the win over Marloes Coenen. She absolutely dominated Coenen. Jan Finney, solid fighter, but not in Cyborg's league. Not only is she not in Cyborg's league, she's not even in her weight class, in all honesty. She's going to be a much smaller fighter. Don't expect a competitive fight here, in all honesty. No disrespect to Jan Finney. I think she's a solid fighter, as I said, but she poses almost no threat at all to Cyborg. I see Cyborg absolutely steamrolling her, dominating her, and probably getting a stoppage somewhere in the second round. It's unfortunate there's not really anyone out there right now that I can see being a threat to Cyborg Santos. Unless she fights a guy, she's probably not going to have a competitive fight anytime soon. Main event, Fedor Emelianenko against Fabricio Werdum. You know, I don't know what to say about this fight. I guess it's the best Strikeforce could do at the moment. Because Overeem, well, Alistair Overeem says that Fedor's people wouldn't come into a fight against him. Werdum's coming off the win over Antonio Silva. So I guess he, quote unquote, earned this fight. There's not really a lot of serious competition in Strikeforce heavyweight division for Fedor. Alistair Overeem notwithstanding. I really just don't see any way Werdum wins this fight. Does he have an edge in jiu-jitsu? Yes. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's a better grappler. I'd say Fedor has the better takedowns. We've seen Fedor fight other grapplers in the past, most notably Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, whose grappling he dealt with easily, was never really threatened at any time by his submissions. And I don't think Werdum's going to threaten him. Sure, Werdum could always catch him in something, but I just don't see Fedor getting submitted. There's nothing I've seen in Fedor's past, or even recently, that leads me to indicate anything that think that he's going to get subbed anytime soon. Werdum's been working on his stand-up for the longest, training out of shootbox, I should say. But it's still pretty, I don't want to say rudimentary. It's better than that, but it's not all that effective. If you saw him against Antonio Silva, it looks a little bit crisper than it has in the past, but better than the slapboxing he was doing against Andre Arlovski in UFC, but not enough where he should have the advantage against Fedor. Fedor is quicker on the feet, more power, and just his style, I think, matches up really good against Werdum. Maybe Werdum could throw some leg kicks that might trouble Fedor, but once again, I just don't think it's going to be an issue. I don't see Werdum winning this fight. Anyone can always win a fight, but I would be shocked if Fabricio Werdum wins this fight, as would the MMA community, in all honesty. So, that said, I got Fedor winning this fight pretty decisively. Maybe it'll go to a decision, but I could always see Fedor winning by a ground and pound stoppage as well. TKO. Werdum's hung in there pretty tough in all of his fights, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But you never know. Fedor may be motivated by revenge. Since Werdum beat Fedor's brother Alexander, I doubt it. Fedor's not really the type of fighter that's motivated by things like that. But either way, Fedor's winning this fight, either by unanimous decision or TKO. Maybe he'll lose it, but I doubt it. Anyways, that's it. That's my thoughts on this event. Sorry if I'm not too enthusiastic about it. But as I said, most of the fights are pretty one-sided. Not that I don't want to see these people fight or compete, but I just wish they were more competitive matchups. So that's my thoughts on this event. I'll probably be back next Sunday to give my thoughts afterwards. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on it as always. Do you think Werdum stands a chance? What do you think of this Smith-Lee rematch? Who do you have winning and why? And any thoughts on Cyborg? Once again, that's it. Check me out on Twitter if you're interested. Link in the information part of the video as always. And until next time, guys and girls, I'm out.